What up, you guys? Welcome to Reality Rewind with your lovely host. Myself is Whitney D. We have Tam Bam, we have Sir Q, and our wonderful, beautiful Jolie, okay? And we are reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 2, You've Got to Chill, all right? And this particular episode was released on April 15th of this year, and it was awesome. Now, you guys stay tuned for episode 3, which is Hasta La Tisha Baby, okay? And that is going to be coming tomorrow. Saturday. But check your local listings for when it will appear on your channel, okay? And it is on the OWN network, okay?
Now, while at Kimmy's event, Kimmy and Martell do have a sit down, and they pretty much are in discussion of pretty much Melody and him, and pretty much like where they stand at this point. And basically Martell discusses how they are pretty much, still in the same scenario as before. And pretty much Kimmy brings up the situation how, she's pretty, what she's going through is very traumatic. However, if she didn't have someone like Maurice by her side, she doesn't know how things would actually be in that scenario. And she pretty much, gave an example, asking Martell, like if you were going through something traumatic, wouldn't you want to have Melody, someone who you've been with for, so many years, whom you've shared so much with for so long, wouldn't you want to have her by your side? And of course, he admitted that, he would. And that's when they got into the discussion of, them possibly like maybe getting back together or, what the future holds for their relationship. Still, of course, things are unknown and there was really no type of like resolve within that conversation. But you can tell that there's a resolution within Martell, because I think he's finally at a point where he realizes that he misses her, like that saying, you don't miss a good thing until it's gone. I think now that reality has kicked in, that, since they are divorced, they're no longer together, they're no longer a married couple, it does feel weird. And the fact that, they may never get back to the way that they were before, I'm pretty sure he does feel some sort of way about that. So, moving forward, Melody is now about to leave the event, and, she's pretty much saying her goodbyes. She's letting Martell know she's about to leave, and Martell, basically ask her to, let me walk you out to your car. Of course, she automatically declines. But I feel like when I see the interaction and I see how things transpire, I kind of understand where Melody is coming from, because she doesn't want to give false expectations. Like, you can tell she doesn't want to lead Martell on, nor does she want Martell to think that there is possibly something that they can salvage or that they can resolve within the relationship. So I kind of commend her when she chooses to keep her distance, because at the end of the day, we only see things that transpire, when the cameras are rolling. We don't know the full extent of everything that has transpired within their relationship besides what we see. So I'm pretty sure, in addition to what we see, there's a lot of other things that goes on that has caused her to be distant, from Martell. And one thing I can say about Martell, he is all about the spotlight. And you can tell that, when the cameras start rolling, you probably see a different Martell than what Melody sees when the cameras are not rolling, basically behind closed doors. So her actions are, to me, I feel like they're warranted. Why she feels the way that she does and why she is moving the way that she's moving, especially when it comes to her changing her phone number, not allowing Martell to have it. It's a reason behind what she's doing. But it's just crazy. It's really crazy to say, because even as, Martell has a sit down with his friends, Fletcher and Nell, as they're actually, he crashes their date. And, they also too have a discussion about their relationship. And, they even ask about Sheree and, where they stand. And it's, to me, it's crazy because he still never gives a definitive answer as to where him and Sheree stand. Like, basically it's almost like they're just still in this friendship zone, whereas to me, when I look at Sheree and how she views it, to me, I feel like she views it as if they're in a full blown relationship. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe the whole situation between that is just crazy to me. But you can tell that Martell still has feelings for Melody. I mean, of course, quite naturally, because they've been together for so long. They were married for so many years. They, have 4 children together. So it makes sense, why he has those feelings for her. And it's probably something that will never go away. Is it confusing? Yes, it is. But, all I can say will there ever be, no, what I need to question, will there ever be a resolution out of all of this? Can they come to a common ground? That's the real question.
We saw more and more how vulnerable Martell Holt is and his honesty and sincerity about his family. And I was talking to my husband in regards to this particular episode because he caught it and he was going to bat for Martell, and feel like that Melody was being thought that Melody was being a little too harsh towards Martell. And I had to tell my husband, baby, no, Martell has done a lot of stuff, and we had a conversation. He was like, "Well, I feel like it shouldn't be keeping him from the kids. That's personal." And the thing is, I agreed and I disagreed with my husband because the thing is, this is that she's no longer married to this man. She don't have to abide by his rules and regulations. And then if they don't have anything court agreement as to how the kids are supposed to move and things in that nature, then he really doesn't have too much of a say. So they should be able to agree to disagree when it comes to the children. As far as him personally, I don't think it has nothing to do with anything. And I just feel as though that before they got to a place to where they're kind of doing better, he did a lot, taking this girl to court, dragging her through the mud, allowing his coleslaw over there to keep putting her mouth on her. I think, yeah, Melody, rightfully so, has some resentment towards Martell. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was rooting for them. I was absolutely, utterly rooting for them. I just feel as though that him uh, bringing a outside baby really, really, really made sealed the deal for Melody. And I honestly don't think that she should turn back around. Although I really wish, gosh, wish they could have worked it out because I love them. They were a beautiful couple, beautiful power couple, and all that jazz. But I just feel as though that no, she shouldn't look back. And unfortunately, I think Martell is kind of looking like, dang, what I'm saying, shoulda, coulda, woulda, coulda, right? Um, and I just feel as though he should probably move on. And I hate that I'm saying that because I just love to see him in this vulnerable state and really, kind of wanting to get Melody back. But I really don't think that she will be able to move forward with another child, that she has to constantly see. And I mean, some people can, some people can't, you know what I'm saying? And they chose to, dissolve their marriage. And I feel as though, people can reconcile, but I think that was like kind of the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to Melody. And I feel as though she is striving beautifully, and I say kudos to her. Um, and we just saw a lot of different situations that transpired on this particular episode, and it was very, very interesting to say the least. But I just my heart goes out for Martell honestly now because it's just kind of like, dang, you got to understand that's why you're not supposed to jump the gun. And sometimes the enemy can come in a small little crack. And if you don't pay attention to his schemes and address it, then it can blow up like this. And you be looking back like, dang, why did I do that? And sometimes the Lord unfortunately doesn't allow us to have a redo in circumstances, especially when you get in way in over your head. And I just feel as though Melody is just over Martell. And I honestly say rightfully so. But when it comes to the children, I feel as though those are two different situations. Just because he was not a good husband to you doesn't mean that he's a bad father to the children. And I do believe that it should be a separation. In regards to Melody having 20 babysitters and stuff like that and not allowing him to be a father, I feel as though that if that was the true case, and you guys know that we've seen it play out on the show, that he exaggerates a lot of cases. I feel as though that's unfortunate. If that is true, Melanie is out of order for that. Any opportunity that your children can have to spend with their father, you need to maximize on that. It shouldn't be that should be an issue as to that period if he's available. However, on the contrary, I do understand where Martell is coming in and is saying, well, and I feel as though it shouldn't be those many people around my children. I am big on that, child. If my husband can't watch the kids and I go out, or vice versa, or we have like two people out of even our family that we allow to watch our children, be it my mother or his sister, then that we're not gonna it's not gonna happen. Or our eldest son, it's just not going to happen because you can't just allow everybody and their mama to be around your kids. I don't care how old they are. Kids are impressionable. So, yeah, that's my take on that particular situation. I'm interested to see what the cast members pointed out in regards to this episode.
Ooh, child, I totally agree. But let's get into the fact that Stormy kind of like nucked if you buck Melody. Just talking to her, and it was real talk. Like, she ain't nuck if you buck out. But she was really talking to her about communication. And I feel like as friends, any relationship that you're in, we need to hold each other accountable. Like, it's okay for you to say, hey girl, like, what's up? Like, you can do that in your relationships, with the opposite sex, like your relationships like boyfriend, girlfriend, or marriage. It's also important to do that with your friends. And I think Stormy was in the right by just kind of like, hey, what's up? Like, you said after the reunion we were gonna catch up and talk, and that didn't happen. So I'm just trying to figure out, are we good or not? Cause I don't play like that. Stormy is very upfront. And I think that is just such a blessing to just be like an upfront type of person. And so Melody did let her know, like, hey, I'm all about protecting my peace, because you have to realize Melody has been through a lot. And so she just probably didn't. The way that I look at it, I don't see that she sees value enough to be like, oh, I haven't heard from Stormy, let me reach out, or I haven't heard from her, let me da da da. And it's just like Stormy is trying to establish a relationship with Melody, so she's in her feels a little bit about it. But I totally agree. Like, I don't think it was, a big deal. And then especially for her mom to have that, what she said about Melody and stuff. It's just like, mama, stay in your place. Like what was said before. And like, allow them to figure out what they want to be to each other in their lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that needs to be said, honey. Because, honey, that goddamn Stormy, she said, I don't play like that. That that down south accent came up out of her child. She was like, I don't play like that. Don't do that. So that was really good to watch. I love that part. Also, Maurice telling Kimmy, like, Martell needs to get his stuff together and leave Melody alone. I love that for him. Like, I'm glad that he told Kimmy that, because Kimmy's kind of like rooting for Martell and Melody, and it's like, no, like, Maurice, coming from a man, for him to say that, he made his bed, now he gotta lay in it. Like, you've made mistakes, sir. You need to really figure out you before you try to patch things up with your ex-wife or want that back, because y'all have to think about the kids. So I totally commend Maurice for being transparent and being real, like, and just coming from a man, like, no, you gotta, if you stepping up to the plate, you gotta be all the way right. And from what I've seen, he hasn't been all the way right. So I applaud you, Maurice. Thank you for being a man. Okay. Letitia, oh child. Okay, so she wants her cousin to join her brokerage, probably because her cousin Courtney is probably the bum.com and she wants her to join her brokerage since she got her brokerage license. Okay, bet. But my whole thing is, I see how you treat our other cousin. So what makes you think that I want to come join you in business? You know, but she eventually agrees to do it only on the context of her going to talk to the other cousin. And it's like, oh, this is too complicated already. Like, I already see it crashing and burning. But we will see, because you know what, one thing about it, we're gonna get this money. I hope that it works out for them, but I don't see it in their future, honey. Cause baby, with the animosity between Letitia and the other cousin, and then Courtney saying, well, you need to talk to her because I just need to make sure that y'all I don't see it, but we will watch that situation closely, because I'm on the fence. Okay, well, sis, what you got to say about this? Because honey,
I liked was the gym with Kiki and Letitia. I love the fact that Letitia started it off. You know what? It's a lot of animosity. It's a lot of built up, feelings. So let's box it out a little bit. Let's get some of that tension out. And I like how they played with that. And then when they went into their sit down, hey, let's take a break. We can't be doing all this boxing stuff back and forth. We out of breath. Let's sit down and let's talk. And right now, and what people don't understand is when you go to work out, because, I've got back into working out, it actually makes you vulnerable. Because when you're upset and you start working out, you start opening up those wounds, which in this instance was a good thing, because now they were able to sit down and say, listen, I was hurt by this. And, Letitia had to tell Kiki, listen, how would you like it if I got to a place where I started telling everybody about your marriage, if I started leaking all the stuff that's going on within your marriage? And I also like how Letitia called her out too. You're real good with words. You're good with wordplay. So you know how to say something without saying it, but then you leave it open for people to create their own imagination, their own narrative. And then that's how rumors get started. And you never go back in and clean up and say, no, that's not what I meant. Like, keep it all the way 100. I don't know how to let you back in because I don't trust you. But trust and believe, if I decide to and you hurt me, I'm coming for your neck, is what she said. And baby, I can't wait for next episode. So this was really, really good.
Right, you guys, you heard what we think in regards to this particular episode. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. While you're there, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And we'll see you on the next upload. Until then, Reality Rewind out.